Okay, hello everyone, and I hope you're having a great afternoon. I've been having a pretty good afternoon. Let's see, let's adjust that. Okay, so today we're cleaning up this terrible monstrosity, and then we're gonna also make some Okonomiyaki. So first things first, we gotta get things started off right with some good old positivity, and that's with a good old fest beer. Which, if I can, do I need more? Like, nah, this seems very overabundant. So, yeah. First off, cheers. And I gotta get this thing started, because apparently I hear gas flowing, but I don't hear sparky spark. Oh! Okay. Oh, good. Oh my goodness, this thing is terribly fun to be using indoors on on a wooden workbench. Wow, okay, well, that was unnecessarily exciting. So, what we gotta do now is we gotta get this thing started. So, according to the instructions on Blackstone's own website, it's good to turn this on, get it to a high heat, let it be at a high heat for about a good 20 minutes, and then we can get in here with our metal scraper, wire brush, and we can start working on this rust. We've got this Blackstone's in pretty rough shape, and you know what? I can say, not my fault. Not my fault, not my problem, because I actually literally just got this from my boss at work. That's where I got this. And because of that, well, the thing is, he didn't know what seasoning was. Like, that you're supposed to, like, season this. And and actually I might have to open the garage door later once we actually get to the proper seasoning part. But what seasoning is you basically coat the, I'm gonna need, do I want to use tongs, or I could probably just make do with the things I have. But you basically add a layer of oil, typically a vegetable oil. I actually have 3 options with me. So, we're gonna just let this thing heat up for step 1 of the process. I hear birds. It's also been real fun watching the bird feeder I made like about 2 weeks ago. Yeah, the first place where I stuck it definitely it was getting squirrel attacked. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna move it. I'm gonna make sure it doesn't get squirrel attacked anymore. And now it doesn't get squirrel attacked anymore. Or at least not to my knowledge. Because the main thing I've been wanting to do with it is, like, because birds do knock out some feed out of the feeder. If the squirrels are going after the ground stuff, I don't care. I don't care about that. But I want to keep the squirrels out of, like, the actual feeder itself, because then they're going to get on it and then they're just going to go through it. I don't want that. It's a very undesirable outcome. Exceedingly undesirable outcome. But yeah. Also, I went to Costco today, and I got Costco goodies, so I'm very excited about so for the most part, my haul from Costco was pretty standard, except for the fact they had pizza kits. And for those who don't know what a pizza kit is, it's basically a crust with packets of sauce. And it's basically the base for a pizza. And I love these things. I love these things very much. And the biggest thing that upsets me with Costco is they are very bad at keeping these in stock. but they had some in stock today, and yeah, their Best Buy date was December of this year, so I bought 4 packages. Each package has like 3 pizzas, and also this is actually really starting to warm up. Nice. So I managed to do a pretty good haul of those. And what's really nice about them is with a pizza kit, it's really easy to incorporate vegetables into it. Because with like a frozen pizza, sure, I can pull a frozen cheese pizza out of the fridge, slap some onions on it, and then throw it into the oven, and that'll be okay. But I personally, I'm the type of person who prefers his vegetables under the cheese. I prefer my cheese on top. So with a pizza kit, I can just like take the crust, cut a corner of my sauce packet, get a nice drizzle. Ooh, we're smoking. This is actually heating up a lot quicker than what the instructions said. So, good. If the smoke gets too aggressive, I might have to open the garage door. But the rust is actually starting to change colors though. So, yeah, it's starting to get like less orangey. So, you start with that base, and then I can add vegetables. I can add onions, peppers, tomatoes, good stuff. Hit it with cheese, throw it in the oven, and when I pull it out, I can hit it with some garlic powder and some fresh basil from the garden. This is amazing. Okay, so I'm starting to get some pretty good smoke out of this. I'm gonna let it continue heating up because instructions say let it get hot, and then I can start scraping. But also, like, I can also like take the I can turn the heat off once it gets so hot. Which, Jiminy Crickets, today's stream might get a little toasty in here. Granted, that's today. I'm actually planning on doing a campfire cooking stream not too far from now. And actually, I got my handy dandy thermometer. What's my air temp? It's getting toasty. Yeah, there we go. It's reasonably toasty. Granted, I don't actually. Can I just stick this on the middle? Will it jump? It's jumping. Oh wow, 130. And also, don't worry about these thermometers. I've seen these thermometers get really, really, really high. Granted, it's getting warm enough to the point where it's a little difficult for me to hold my hand on it, but this thing is like nearly 200 degrees though. Also, I hope I have enough propane for today. I know I have more, but I'll have to like run and get it. Ooh, yeah, there it is. We're over 200. We are over 200. Honestly, I'm seeing a fair amount of like discoloration with the rust. So, listen for that to whoosh out. And we're gonna start scraping. So the scraping is mostly for the like thick stuff, because we got some pretty chunky rust. And then probably I've got a paper towel. Well, I've got paper towels on hand. And we'll clean up the rust with those. Woo! edges are going to be really hard on this, though, as far as getting fully cleaned up. Okay. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. I'm going to grab some paper towels. And let's see. I want something I don't want to use water, because water's just going to kind of just like catch fire. Ooh, I might be a little off balance too. My griddle's actually leaning to one side. And where is my handy dandy glove? So, with a glove and paper towel, the olive oil's just kind of like there to help be something of a lubricant to help pick up all the iron oxide. That's like, yeah, look at that grody stuff. Real grody stuff. Thank goodness I got paper towels on tap. So I can already see this looking pretty good. I'm also going to try and push a lot of grodiness to the edges. Granted, I can at least make the ever so slight joke of that this grodiness is probably really good for me right now because I donated blood today. So I'm kind of iron deprived right now. Granted, that's actually a good thing with like this Okonomiyaki is the flour's actually got it pretty good. Iron content to it. Okay. Oh man, we're looking really good. We're only like a couple of paper towels in, and I say we're getting real close to actually being able to actually cook on this. I really like that. I got some residual crud in the corners, but my scraper doodles, it's not good for that. It doesn't handle those corners too well. Okay. I think we're doing reasonably alright. Ah, no! Garbage can, please and thank you. Garbage can. Also, it's getting warm. Need a cold beer. So, we did some scraping with a metal edge and a wire brush. Standard grill maintenancer. This steel wool. So, what the steel wool is going to do, it's really going to help us with our edges, our cracks, that sort of stuff. And also, I would like to hold this. And I need to also consider at some point later, here in a little while, I need to so the steel wool is going to be really good for getting into these corners. And getting the corrosion out of those. Then I also want to use the steel wool to kind of push everything towards this end here. That's going to really help. Really clean the rust up. Or if I can at least get the rust to go to like the back end. So supposedly, according to the instructions, this will get shiny the more I do it, which I gotta say, like, it's looking better and better. Like, this is actually starting to get to the point where I think I'm willing to trust it with some food. Okay, let's give it. Steel wool loosened a lot of stuff up. Let's go ahead and try and get as much of it up as we can. And I gotta say, this Blackstone is seeing much better days right now than it was earlier. A lot better. I don't think it's at 100% though, because we still got a bit of a dull color to it. So I'm gonna grab my handy dandy steel wools. We're just gonna go on and keep on throwing some elbow grease at this. Granted, considering the fact that it's starting to come up with a, because it looks like the current patinta it has is very similar to carbon steel at this point. I think we're getting real close. And the big reason why you gotta do like a big rust removing before you actually like start the seasoning process is the rust will kind of form a barrier. And if you don't get the rust out, the seasoning will adhere to the rust and not the actual like griddle. And when that happens, you don't actually get good cohesion. Cohesion. That word. Between the seasoning and the griddle surface. But yeah, this part's just, it's really lots of elbow grease. Lots of elbow grease, but this is all worthwhile though. Because I'm starting to see the surface of this get smoother and smoother. And as it gets smoother and smoother, it's going to be better and better for our seasoning layer. Now I'm sure I'm also removing a fair amount of seasoning layer that was there at this point. But hey, I'm just a man in America trying to take care of a grill. Because I got a grill for free. I'm a guy who wasn't taking good care of it. But I think we're getting real close here. I think what I'll do is we'll do that wipe down session. And then I'm just gonna hit this with like a little bit of olive oil. Probably too much. Woo! My hands are getting toasty in these big gloves. Really big gloves. So, put this back on. And then I'm just gonna hit the edges of my oil glob. Ow. And spread that oil out. I'm going to use that oil to pick up all this grody-ness. Okay, that's a good amount of grody-ness. I'm gonna go add it with the steel wool some more. Now I've got a little bit of enhanced lubrication from the oil. And I think after this session here, I'll have it good enough to the point where we can actually start seasoning. Because I was actually looking up the instructions. Well, directions for making the okonomiyaki, and I was like, man, I don't think this will take too long once I actually like get going and get into it. And now I'm realizing, well, I did kind of realize earlier that I was like, you know what, this might actually end up taking a little while. Okay, that's looking so much better. I don't think it's perfect, but it's better. And remember, perfect is the enemy of done. But this thing is definitely starting to have a shine to it, though. So that means I'm getting enough of the rust off to get this thing up to the point where we can actually start thinking about a little bit of seasoning. There we go. Nice little dab of oil. Nice little dab. That's all I need. But yeah, it's actually starting to pick up a nice shine to it. Woo! Paper towels are still coming out pretty grody though. But I'm not gonna die of iron poisoning. Versus if I just really tried to scrape up rust and then go for it. So I think that's kind of dry. Hit it with dabs of oils just to help pick up the grime. Which, believe it or not, olive oil was actually one of the original sources for getting grime off human beings. Back in the Roman days, when Romans bathed, they would actually coat their bodies in olive oil, and they actually had it looks a lot like a sickle, but it was like more of a scraping instrument, and they would use then scrape the oil off, and that's how they would clean themselves way back when. My goodness gracious, this is not like high polish that I was. Oh, Lillian! Oh my gosh! Hi, hello. How are you? Hope you're doing good. As for me, I have a really dirty Blackstone I got for free that I'm trying to get cleaned up. And then we're going to do some seasoning on it. Which seasoning is basically polymerizing a fat to achieve a non-stick coating. Which is the original non-stick coating. The non-stick coating that most people are familiar with from cast iron. But yeah, we took this really rusty grody thing, and now it's actually looking clean enough to cook food on. Well, it looks like it's been a while. Doing good. Also, nice. Ah! Good to hear. But yeah, life's been pretty good. So, we got this cleaned up. I'm gonna undon my glove of safety. And actually, I need to prepare some paper towels. And also, I do need to deeply consider. And I'm going to just fold this up into a nice cube. Then I'm going to hit this with a good little splidgen of olive oil. And then with my paper towel, we're going to spread it. And the key here when you're seasoning is you want to get a thin coat of oil. Thin coat of oil over everything. So I'm going to set my little thing off to the side. And I'm going to try and start this thing and not create an explosion like the first time I did it. Ooh, wait, that sounds normal. Ah, there we go, there we go, there we go. We did it, we did it. No explosion. Yeah, because the first time because the instructions for removing the rust recommended heating it up first. And yeah, I did that. And I got an improper start, but still had gas flowing. So I had a reasonable amount of gas buildup. And when the igniter finally kicked in and ignited the gas, it actually created like a mini explosion, which I am really interested in checking the VOD. Because it actually shook my garage door and spooked me. But and also made me kind of maybe second guess having this big flammable, well, having all these flames on top of what essentially is a wooden, well, wooden bench top. But we're gonna see if I ruin this today or not. Because I was a little short on time getting ready for stream today. So it's kind of like make stuff happen sooner rather than later, because this does I do have the stand for this, which is a metal stand, but I don't think it's gonna be like bad, because like judging by like where the flames are and such, it's not gonna be terrible. But I am going to be generating a lot of smoke. If anyone was doing this on your own time, I cannot recommend enough doing this in an outdoor setting versus me doing this in an indoor setting, kind of, for the most part. I am essentially 100% indoors, but I have a garage door I can open. And I might open the garage door, depending on how much smoke comes off this. But right now, you can guys see some like shiny metal, and you can see some black. I'm hoping to get at least 3 coats of seasoning before I actually start thinking about cooking on this. And hopefully by that time, all the shiny metal parts you can see will fade away to like a cast iron black. That's what it should look like. But I actually do kind of like the how it generally like looks as far as like a webcam in the setup. Granted, I'm a little unsure how I'm going to do things once we actually get to the magical part of actually cooking. Ooh, we're getting some smoke. Sweet. Just have to make sure now that I don't smoke myself out of house and home. That's the least desirable outcome. But yeah, look at that sweet olive oil smoke. Actually, I'm gonna give me a moment. I'm gonna review instructions, which I had up, but I didn't. Apparently, My phone kicked me out of one. There we go. So, and hello, Blackstone. Preheat it and make it dark. Okay. Interesting. So it actually recommends heating it, then adding oil. So I had my processes in reverse. So yeah, okay. Dab it with oil, fire it back up. And then, as we let it do its thing, it should darken up. But I do see I really do have some like oil pooling. So I'm just gonna do a quick back and forth wipe. Just to kind of even that. And also, since I'm wanting to, yeah, that's what I did. I bumped the shelf that all my streaming equipment's on, and now it doesn't want to play nice. Okay. Well, I'm gonna hope that resets. In the meantime, this is actually making enough smoke. I'm gonna go ahead and open the garage door. Whoa. Hey now. Please don't fall down. And something fell down. Okay. I don't need it fully open, just kind of open. There we go. Woo! Yeah! That was a good decision. That was a really good decision. Because it's starting to get smoky in here. Oi. Okay. And I'm also going to go grab some tongs. And tongs. There we go. And we're gonna hang out. Just laying in my chair in the kitchen, my great grandma just brought me a few cucumber pieces. Nice. Nice. Cucumber's good stuff. Okay. Yep. Yeah, that is a thing that my setup that's happened to the setup, is that it has become as fragile as glass. And the issue with that is if I so much as touch my shelf, my entire setup. Oh, okay, that's bad. I've lost camera though. Again. At least scruff is normal for VTubers, I guess. This camera used to be so much better though. It genuinely used to be so much better. Woo! Okay. We're back. We're back. Yay! Oh my goodness. So I'm going to be spreading that out. Make sure I'm not getting, because I don't want to make sure, because I don't want to have too many, too thick of an oil deposit in the place. Because if your seasoning layer gets a little too thick, it will chip. You want to just build up like small layers over time. Is the ideal way to go. Peeling them, just bite into it. Also, oof, I feel that with your camera. Mine did the same when I tried to stream a while back. Yeah. It's just this camera's been like real bad as of late. Like really bad. Like it's like every time I move it or jostle it. Which right now this is like the worst it's been. Which, if this continues to act up, I might end up... I think I'm going to switch to camera number 2. Because I have another camera I can pull up and use, but that one's a little bit... That one's a little bit more particular. But we'll see. I want this to work, though. I want this one to work. This one has... Ooh, yeah, but yeah, the shininess is actually starting to go away, and we're starting to blacken, which is really good. But I do see puddles of oil. So we'll just keep spreading all that out, and hopefully, so I'm trying to keep my fingers crossed on the camera working, but cameras be cameras. And I think if this one continues to act up, I might just replace it. Granted, I know also like another aspect of what I do, because I'm always breaking my set, because I'm always moving my setup, because I always have this the standard like shop setup, which is how I'm doing things now, and then I have the setup when I'm actually like doing other things. Well, actually the campfire setup. So I think my big issue is because I'm switching back, because I will... Because that's another thing, is like I'm losing audio, which is strange to me. It's really strange I'm losing the audio the way I am. But I keep losing camera. Ooh, actually, I got an idea for the camera. And there's the magic plug. Where's magic plug number 2? Because I presume magic plug number 2 is plugged in. We're gonna do some troubleshooting live. And what I'm gonna do is that, and I'm presuming I've got that plugged in on the other side of the world. Whew, it has gotten smoky in here. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna remove that. We're gonna go back in. And we're gonna We're gonna try this. We're gonna try this. I think this will be more stable. Fingers crossed, because I moved the USB plug to something else. Because I have quite a few things in my USB hub. Granted, I'm seeing some glitching. Okay. It's looking pretty alright. Camera's still here. Glitching, but here. Okay. Takes about 30 minutes for your Blackstone to get there, so relax, grab a street. Okay. And you can turn off the grill. Okay. Good evening, Dad's Old Chop. I hope you're doing good. Better than me, hopefully better than me. Hopefully it's not as like bad tech-wise on your side of the world, because this has been, it's been a good evening except for the cornucopia tech issues. But you know what? That's what some good Oktoberfest beers for. Because I've moved. I'm stuck in a line in the game though. Good though. Okay. Well, hopefully that line's not too bad for you. Okay. I'm not getting a lot of smoke right now. So, I'm going to go ahead and hit this with like a drizzle of oil. And then I'm going to spread it out. Woo! And this will become layer 2 of the seasoning. Woo! Sweet olive oil smoke. Because I actually brought a few vegetable oils. I brought coconut oil. I brought standard vegetable oil. What's it? What are you standard vegetable oil? Canola oil. That was the one. But yeah, I think also like one of the reasons why the setup was being a little weird was also just because I probably had too many things plugged into the USB hub, which I probably should look at reducing the amount of options on that. Do I wish to? Honestly, I don't think so. I'm just gonna occasionally take moments to spread out my olive oil, and then let the magic of polymerization happen. And I'm not referring to the Yu-Gi-Oh card. I'm referring to the chemical reaction that's currently taking place here, which smells fairly alright, which is good. Actually, you know what? I'm opening my garage door further. I can't move you. Oh, come on. I can move you further. Why can't you move further? What are you stuck on, wheel? You're stuck on paracord, silly thing. Please, I want to open my garage door. I was thinking this was something I could do reasonably safely in the garage. I'm very quick. I'd like to say I've reasonably upped the resiliency of the camera right now. Woo! But yeah, it's actually starting to really warm up in here, though. It's 75 right now. Granted, I'm starting to get to the point where I really want to make Okonomiyaki, but unfortunately, I've still got waiting to do. Because what I want to do is I want to wait for this seasoning layer to completely smoke off. And as you can see, I have a lot blacker of a grill top, which is a good sign. That's what I want. However, though, I'm probably going to have to at least do a third layer, maybe a fourth. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I just put a hand to my atmosphere mic and it was hot. It was really hot. So that's actually probably one of the reasons why I'm having really weird technical issues. Is my mic is getting hot. Like, yeah, I can't keep hands on that. Ooh, yeah, sorry. Okay, but my bench top's not turning black, so that's good. Yep. Leave it to a somewhat unconventional stream to be the stream that pushes my technology to its limits. Woohoo! Smoke it! We're gonna halt. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! This is borderline nightmarish on tech issues. Well, fellow VTubers, don't stick a propane griddle on your underneath your setup because, yeah, this thing. I don't know if it's just me, but your cam's glitching a bit. Like, okay, yeah, yeah, my camera is glitching a little bit, and I think that's the power of the connection. But it might hate the heat. I think it's actually how I got it plugged in. Because I actually had this glitching issue before. So, for webcams, this happens if the webcam does not have a good connection. However, though, considering the level of issues I've had, I think after I finish this layer of seasoning, I'm going to take this, I'm going to move it down to here, and we'll do rest of the stream with this a little bit further away because Jeepers Creepers, which actually, you know what? It's off. The Blackstone's off now. But I do have to find and grab the stand for this thing. Because I did actually have this glitching issue before with this webcam, and I literally unplugged it and plugged it back in again and it fixed it. But I do think the level of heat I'm exposing all my equipment to right now is really pushing it, so I'm just gonna actually let this kind of cool down a little bit, and once it fully cools down, we'll move it. And I'm gonna grab a fresh paper towel. But yeah, I think this is also like one of the main reasons why a lot of YouTubers don't do cooking streams. It's the logistics in cooking streams are just like absolutely unreal. It is a lot of work. Oh wow. Nothing is sticking to that. Nothing is sticking to that, which is really good because that means we're getting a really good non-stick surface here. So, well, I get excited about the prospect of a good non-stick surface. I need to... Oh! Legs just come out. Neat. Good to know. Oh, so some have stops. So some of the legs have stops. Huh. Wait. Okay. Man, I love getting stuff for free from other people. Well, that's just sitting on there. Whoa, hey. Okay, that's not going anywhere at least. Don't have inspiring confidence in that though. Ooh. Whoa. Yeah, this is one of many reasons why. Oh, come on. How much did he foobar this? He foobarred it a lot. The previous owner of this griddle. He foobarred it a lot. That is the answer. Okay. Boy. Okay. Oh. So. I am now faced with the reality that I have to move this. And so, for those who don't know, there's actually a grease collector trap at the back of this thing. And I'm going to have to be really aware of that. Damn. This thing warmed up my beer. How dare it warm up my beer? That's not nice. You ungrateful son of a gun. Okay. I have gloves of safety. I can now handle a hot one. Huh. Do those even line up with holes? Why did... Oh my goodness. sort of tomfoolery. What? Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, chat, let it be known. You get what you pay for. You get what you pay for. And my oil collector did not collect a dang thing of oil. Which kind of sucks, but oh well. We're in a reasonably better position. So, since people have been talking about the glitchiness, I'm gonna try and do a quick fix for that. Camera might do weird things. I expect many things to do weird things, the way things have been going around here. So, let us hope for the best. Capture device. Remove. We'll see what this does. Have no idea if it's going to work. And then immediately denied any semblance of success. But oh well. You just gotta live with it. Okay, so I've only done 2 layers of seasoning on this. I want to get one more going before. Oh wow, really? That's really out there. So we're gonna get another layer of seasoning going before we actually move into the cooking portion of today. And as far as the various glitching, that's just we're just gonna have to live with that. As long as I'm using this webcam, which woohoo! Yeah, got ignition. Which, trust me, I know what it sounds like if I don't get the ignition right. But this is now further away from the camera. And I can actually hold the atmosphere microphone. So, I have distanced my equipment from the heat. I am used to managing the heat when I do the campfire streams, just because I've done them for so long. But I do see the glitching still happening. So, question is, I've got options, and I'm going to consider my options. So, goodbye, camera. Okay. Let's see, did I bring that back? Yeah, I got that back. But that's going to be the fun thing with this, is like, at the end of the day, this is probably going to end up being the most scruff stream I've done. Which I've done some pretty scruff streams. Video capture, 2, yes. Oh. But yeah, that's how I harvest hops, by the way. Back to the main show. So, glitchiness should be removed. Fingers crossed I actually have stability. Because I think my biggest issue is I had all my USB ports plugged into my USB hub. And I don't think it liked that. So I actually moved my mouse to one of my other extension cables so that took it out of the USB hub loop. And now with a free USB spot open, I hope we're better. Wait, that beer's been empty for a while. This is the beer I'm actively drinking. And a guy like me needs beer in these trying times. Even out all that oil. Granted, I'm gonna like this thing once I actually get it like kind of dialed in. I'm definitely a ways from that, but I think once we get there, it'll be pretty good. We'll be pretty good. But oh yeah. So there's the garage garden, right there. I've got lettuce. I've actually got a tomato in one of those pots. I got another tomato in another one of those pots because this year has been terrible for tomatoes. I've only harvested 2 tomatoes this year. And then, like, I think maybe not quite around this time last year, but like I had so many tomatoes. I was giving away tomatoes at work, and I was also like juicing tomatoes for salsa. This year, total drought. Total drought, total shutout. It has been an awful year for tomatoes for me. Really bad. Not good. Unideal. But... oh, wait. You know what? Hey, we got a little bit more of an expanded view, and we've got time to kill. I can show chat my new toy. And I actually played with this toy yesterday. Actually, not sure. Okay, yeah. Mike's still picking it up. Woohoo! So, so here's my new toy. Which, for those who don't know what this thing is, this is a weed torch. Which you can basically blast weeds with it. And as an individual who has fought a lot of crabgrass, and it's been kind of a losing battle, I gotta say, so far, I played with this tool a little bit last night, just to kind of like experiment with it and just familiarize myself with it. Yeah, initially I thought, I was like, man, this thing ain't super great. I'm not getting a super good burn out of it. Yeah, my problem was I forgot about actually this part. The fact that it has like a valve on it, and then I discovered the magic lever, and then it was just like, and I was like, yay! I can mess up crabgrass with this. But yeah, I mean, I do deal with a fair amount of sage weed pressure, but sages are really easy to weed. It's not hard to weed them. Crabgrass has been the thing that makes me want to hurt myself. It makes me hurt myself. And if I hurt myself, I mean like commit myself to more work than I want to do. So I have enlisted a new ally in my fight against crabgrass, and this is my new ally. And I actually kind of want to make like a short video about it at some point, because I actually had a lot of fun that first like time. Okay. You know what? I don't want to jinx anything, but I think we reasonably solved my stream issues. So, yippee! Cheers. Yeah. Actually, we'll do another beer, but next beer is going to be a non-alcoholic beer because, hey, I gotta take care of myself. And also, don't tell anyone, but it's probably not the smartest idea in the world for me to be having these right now. Well, actually, wait, it is a smart thing in the world for me to be having these right now. Because I donated blood today. And the blood donation people said, double up on your fluids. Well, double up on fluids I shall. Probably not how they want me to do it, but I'm a crazy 35-year-old man in the garage. This garage is my oyster. Now, if I leave it, I get screwed. But if I stay, this is my safe place. I can garden here. I can do woodworking here. I can cook in here. I can do all sorts of things. I can have all sorts of fun. I can drink without thinking about it, my actual like responsibilities in life. It's great. But yeah, I'm not getting a whole lot of smoke out of this. So I kind of do want to test how the seasoning's coming along. Where are my clippers? So with my clippers, let's not scrape, because that's actually putting holes in my seasoning, and I'm not getting a whole lot of touch stuff on it. So for now, reasonably seasoned. Should work. Should be okay. So now I actually have to think about the hard part now. And the hard part is I have to prep food, but I now have a cooking surface in front of me. And my initial plan was, when I got done with the seasoning, was I was going to take this and just set it off to the side and then use my workbench. Well, this is here, workbench is there. I'm a man in the garage without work surfaces, and that's, I gotta say, that's a very undesirable situation. But I got ideas. And idea one is, okay, so this is 22.5 inches across. Time to dig through the plywood pile. Oh, sweet, that's actually, ooh, yeah, and it looks thick enough too. Yeah, I like you. I like you, friend. Hello, friend. Okay. So, I got a very friendly piece of 3/4 plywood here. I'm actually going to continue to let this cool down. And actually, I think I'm going to go ahead and, since it's been a good hour into stream, because I still want this to cool down. So I'm going to go ahead and take a quick bathroom break, let this cool down a little bit more, and then once this gets reasonably cooled down, I can throw a piece of plywood on top of it, and I'll have a work surface to start prepping ingredients. So, I'm going to use the little homesteader's room. I'll be back in a few. Okay, I'm back. And while this is still warm, it's not nuclear tier hot. So, not the best surface, but it's a surface and it works. So, my goodness gracious, we have so many ingredients to work with today. So many lovely ingredients to work with today. Woohoo! Plop. And okay. So, first off, we're going to be working with some homegrown green onions. These are going to be the first ingredient I'm going to be slicing, dicing up, preparing. And also I have the most unreal amounts of tilt on this. You could say that my work surface is very tilted right now. But don't worry, work surface, you're not as tilted as my streaming setup was at the start of stream. Oi. Oi, 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 oi. Woo! There we go. Okay. Let's move those to there. Do, 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 do. Yeah. Whoa! My goodness. So, just kind of a preview moving forward. Next stream is actually going to be a campfire cooking stream because next week the weather is going to turn absolutely amazing at my location on the rotation. Absolutely amazing weather. And I am super excited to take advantage of it. So we're going to be doing some campfire cooking. That's actually going to be the stream after this one. And since it will be a lot more normal in terms of setup, a lot more familiar, should be a lot less scruff. A lot less scruff than what unfortunately today has been. Granted, I do think I might actually be able to get out a good clip out of the propane explosion that happened at the start of stream. Also, I gotta say, I really like the color balance in the preview right now. It looks really good. So we cannot have Okonomiyaki without cabbage. Good old cabbage. I've got a bin here for my shredded cabbage. But I am gonna also just go ahead and take a moment to. Granted, this is a pretty tight head, actually. But I am gonna peel off like a layer or two. Just to get those off, kind of work with some cleaner cabbage. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a slice off of this. Exciting. Yes, in case you don't know, my work surface is like incredibly unlevel right now. Which I can make this work. I just don't know if I can make it work well. Okay, so we want some really finely diced cabbage here. For Okonomiyaki. Yeah. Neighbors, stop doing that, please. Which the stop doing that is the occasional reminders that I live in America. Is putting it nicely. Okay. Let's see. I think that's reasonably shredded. That looks like good shredded cabbage. Granted, it doesn't look like enough shredded cabbage because I need like 3 cups of shredded cabbage for this. So I'm gonna grab my head and I'm gonna just take a whole other chunk off. One whole other chunk off. And take a moment to appreciate some NA beer. Granted, I gotta say, that's like one of the best things about living in these modern times is the fact that we can have beer that tastes like beer, but does not have the alcohol. It's really good. It's really good times to be living in. Because I can be like reasonably healthy, but also feel like I'm having an indulgence, you know? You gotta love that. You gotta love being able to have an indulgence. But also not have your indulgence destroy you. Because that's like the big thing with like indulgences is like indulgences are good. But one does not wish to be consumed by their indulgences. Wait. Oh, yoy. Yeah. Okay. I'm back. That's back. Is there a... Order, transform, vector... Is there something else I can do that basically kind of reboots this? Well, we were... Oh gosh, this is... Like, this has been bad! Oh. Wait, okay. Oh, I still got wiggles. Yay! Because it was great, because we had like a solid good bit of time of like it just working and just being good, and then it just died. Oh my goodness gracious, I am... On one hand, I'm sorry, but on also the other hand, like, this has been up to the point where it's been so ridiculous I just laugh about it. So, I think that's the end of my slicing and dicing for this Okonomiyaki. Now, these are going to be my instructions for this. So I'm going to be... This is my gospel. This is my gospel. This is Okonomiyaki flour from Otakufuku. This is gonna... this bag of flour is going to teach me how to make this dish. So keep in mind, I'm going to be following instructions from a bag of flour. So that's where we're at in terms of the level here. So eggs, water in a bowl. Oh man, how dare you do this to me? How dare you do this to me? But that's what I have multiple bowls for. Okay. So the first step is I have to add flour, some of this Okonomiyaki flour, in addition to eggs and water in a bowl. Then I get to add the cabbage, which I want to do all that in this big bowl because this is a big bowl. I can do a lot of mixing in it very easily. That's also why I have the handy dandy spatula over here. Wait a second. Oh my goodness gracious. That might have been that was actually loose. Okay. So, with that most recent foobar, I found out that the power cable for the USB hub was really loose. Because I was actually able to push it in by like nearly 1/4 of an inch. I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed. That was the issue that's been plaguing me this whole time. I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed on that. So, in this bowl, I need to combine 1/2 cup of this flour, 1/2 cup of flour, which measuring cup. Get a handy dandy knife. I am going to start with the flour first. You might be asking me why do the flour first. And you see, dear chat, there's a really good reason for that. And the reason for that lies in come on. Oh, yeah, there we go. The reasoning is I wanted to get the dry ingredient done before the wet ingredient. And I'll do this like quite a few times on like different cooking streams. Like if I want to use the same measuring cup, I always want to use the dry ingredient. Ooh. Give that a good shake. And how much of cup is that? That's a slightly bit more, but I'm not going to bother with that because, well, just that little bit. I still have a lot of flour in my Okonomiyaki flour bag, and jeepers creepers. I'm not sure if I don't even know if I'm going to like this dish, but granted, I do have a fun surprise later. And then I'm just going to add a little bit more water because I wanted to rinse the rest of the flour out, which is why you always do dry ingredients before wet ingredients if you want to use the same measuring dish. Just a little bit of a tip there. Because it's that. Ooh, eggs. I need some eggs. Egg-a-doodles. Hello, eggs. Hello. I'm excited to meet you. Okay. Whoop. Woohoo! You know what? for the eagle-eyed amongst you, boom, those eggshells are in the garden. So this gets 2 eggs. So 1 more. There. Ooh, that's a crack. That's a good crack. Woohoo! There we go. There we go. Excellent. Pardon the puns. Pardon puns. I'm a middle-aged man. I like my puns. Okay. That's that. And time to mix it. Time to mix everything up. I got myself a good fork here. And we're going to be giving this a really, really... Okay. 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 Well, I thought I solved the problem. I was wrong. So, I'm trying to think of what my options are at this point, because will my keyboard go through? I don't know if my keyboard will go through. Let me check a thing right quick. Because I'm really curious, because I feel like the more loads I take off my hub... Have a good stream. I'm heading out. Wish you luck on your cam and stuff. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Have a good rest of your day. Actually, I think... Yeah. We're going to do a thing. Just give me a moment here. What I'm going to do is... Not that. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick my keyboard. I'm going to try and keep taking loads off my Actually, wait a second. I'm not using that. There we go. Okay, here. So, I took another... I actually removed my keyboard from the hub. So I took another load off. So at this point in time, I've removed my mouse and keyboard from my hub because I'm trying to take the load off. I think that's where my problem lies. I think, I don't know. I'm okay-ish when it comes to tech stuff, but I'm not like an expert. And sometimes with streaming, like you don't know what problems you're gonna have until you actually like hit the go live, and then it's like, okay, time to deal with things. Granted, I also have a power strip I'm running stuff off of that I bought from Harbor Freight, so that might also be part of the problem. But I don't think my setup really consumes all that much power. So we want to get this like good, nice mixed combined. And I feel like that's reasonably well mixed. So, next step is to combine the scallions, which in my case is going to be the green onions, cabbage, and batter in this bowl. So, we're going to add that in. Bring that over here where I can play with it. Make sure we get everything reasonably well incorporated. And that's like the sad thing about all of this is because I actually really like this I like this camera. So I now have to thoroughly mix my cabbage batter in this bowl. And this is basically going to become the base of the okonomiyaki. So, granted, I gotta say, like, it so far looks reasonably close enough to what the pictures say this should look like, so. Okay. I'm reasonably happy with that mixture. Heat, add oil, add half of the mixture onto the skillet and place 3 bacons on top. Okay, so instructions. We're gonna hang out here. I should have brought a clip for that. I'm gonna take this, move it off to the side, because basically what we're doing right now is we're going to be moving from prep step to cook step. Yay. And I did not ruin my my piece of plywood, which I was a little bit concerned with. So I'm going to take a little bit of drizzle of olive oil, and then I'm just going to give the Blackstone a rub down. I'm primarily doing that because of the fact I threw a piece of plywood that has been laying around my shop, and I kind of wanted to make sure I didn't end up with like sawdust on my okonomiyaki. So I'm gonna just hit this with like a bit of oil. I think I'm gonna take the initiative to spread it out a little bit. There we go. Nice little spread. And there we go. So, let's see. What's my heat? What's my heat? Medium heat. Okay, so I need a good medium heat. So you're good. And you're good. Okay, cool. We got good medium heat going. So, let's hope for the best. So, while I'm waiting for this to heat up, I also wish to familiarize myself with the steps. So the next step, after I get this heated up, I think I'm actually going to go... So this recipe makes 2 okonomiyaki. I'm going to cook both at the same time just to get it taken care of. So the process is going to be taking my mix, throwing it on, half and half, and then I'm going to throw some bacon on it. So, since bacon is going to be added during that step, I'm going to go ahead and grab my bacon. So, I'm using good old uncurl bacon. product of Canada. We're going to be using some Canadian bacon here. And this does not appear to have a resealable tab. So since it doesn't have a resealable tab, we're going to give it a cut, a tear, and then we're going to expand that cut and tear. The purpose of me doing this is primarily to make the bacon reasonably available as I get to cooking. Because that's kind of one of the things about cooking is once you get going, it's congratulations, you're committed to the process. So I've got that done. So I got my bacon ready. My griddle's still heating up. So I'll be in that step for about 3 minutes, flip it over and cook for another 4. After 4, flip again. Okay, so there's actually going to be cook for one side, flip, cook for a while, flip. And then there's going to be the toppings at the end. Okay. Pretty straightforward stuff. Awesome. I got to prepare. You can hang out there. Because... there you are. Water. As with all VTubers, I must... Woo! I must be cursed. To an extent. In my cooking. So what that's going to be is I'm going to heat up some water for my cursed nefarious plan. So I'm actually just kind of in a holding. So I'm actually in a holding pattern waiting for this to heat up. So once we get this heated up, we're going to hit this with some batter, which I should probably just go ahead and stir it, you know, give it a little bit of extra stirrings, all that good stuff. I'm starting to see, okay, so I'm starting to see some smokings. Hang out there, please and thank you. So to divide my big battered in cabbage, I'm just going to throw some and on one side, kind of keep it in a mix, and then I'm going to throw, I'm making 2 at the same time. So there's going to be 1 and 2. Oh wow, these are actually going to be reasonably good size. Man, good thing I have an American class appetite. And kind of keep them together a little bit. Do that. Great. Wonderful. Amazing. And it's time for bacon. Time for everyone's favorite product of Canada. And each of these is going to get 3 slices of bacon. Which coincidentally, I am doing a few slight modifications to the recipe. Because I actually won't do the burrito flakes. Because I am not a fan of fish. Another interesting thing about how exceedingly weird my food preferences are is most pork products make me sick. Well, don't necessarily make me sick, but my body doesn't like it if I consume pork. Other than bacon. Which I think is just a testament to how amazing bacon is. Like, if I eat sausage, my body is like, what did you do, buddy? Why did you put that in me? Granted, it is definitely going to be taking an American class appetite to eat both these bad boys. And you know what? I'm an American missing a pint of blood, so I got an appetite. So we're gonna let these cook for a little while. We let them cook for a little while. They get a flip-a-doodle. And then, after they cook, they get another flip-a-doodle. Which I think the heat's a little high. I'm gonna turn down the heat a little bit. Kind of get the heat a little bit lower. Because I'm seeing some excessive browning with the batter. Oh no. I'm out of the beer. And Kirkland Lager to the rescue. Cheers, chat. Cheers. Oh my goodness. Granted, so far, fingers crossed that the scruff has subsided to an extent, and let's hope it continues. Let's hope it continues. Because, yeah, this has definitely been probably the most scruff stream I've done, but, stuff happens. I remember one time when I was doing a campfire cooking stream, and I kept losing my iPhone tracking because the heat from the fires was causing the iPhone to go in the thermal lockout. Those were good times. I should also probably be mindful of my time on how long I'm having things cook. Because it's cooked 3 minutes, flip, cook for 4, and then after the 4, flip once more. So. But I definitely think this, I'm pretty sure this is a thing that needs to do a pretty good amount of cooking, so. Granted, for flipping the Okonomiyaki, I'm going to be dual wielding for that. We're going to be prepared. We're going to make this good. We're going to make this great. Because I want it to be good. I want it to be great. Because I'm hungry. Okay. So I think we're getting really close here. So, let's see. Woo! Okay, if I take that out, it's still stable. Excellent. And ooh, slight breakup. Slight breakup. But you know what? That's reasonably well cooked. That's reasonably well cooked. Whoop. And take 2. There we go. But hey, you know what? It's looking good. It's looking good. I think it did a good job with my timing. So we've got 4-ish minutes to go. Let it cook on this side, and then I think we flip it and we're done. Granted, it looks like I definitely added a little too much water to my batter, which is why all my batter is kind of on the bottom of these. So a thing to note for those out there, and also for me for later, because that's also a fun thing about doing this, is I have records to go back on and just be like, okay, what worked, what didn't, and how do I improve? Oh yeah. So we got the flipping and then the topping. Okay. Okay. Oh. Oh, okay. So, yeah, I need another plate. So I'm gonna throw the BRB screen on, hit the restroom, and grab a plate while these guys are cooking, okay? And we're back. I have the plates I need. And by the way, this is also starting to smell amazing. Yay, I'm gonna have good food. And it looks like I was pretty good with my timing, because this stuff definitely looks like it's gonna be done sooner rather than later. Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Okay, so I am going to be cursing this food just a little bit. And what that entails is, traditionally Okonomiyaki is topped with mayo. Yeah, I don't like mayo. But I was thinking of, okay, but I want to achieve the aesthetics. I want to have the aesthetics. And that's been long enough. I'm gonna just cut the heat to these guys, but I want the aesthetics. I want to put a white sauce on them. I'm going to be hitting my Okonomiyaki with queso, which is why I have this thing of water here. That is just to heat up the queso. So I got the burners off. I'm just going to let these like kind of rest for a little bit on the griddle, just so that like that residual heat can continue to cook through these guys. But man, based off the smell, I'm very excited. I'm not super excited about like pinkish bits to my bacon, because I typically prefer, because when I consume bacon, I prefer it crispy, but I also don't want to overcook the cabbage or my dough. So I'm trying to balance things, trying to make sure I get a good result, but not terrible result. Okay. I think we're far enough along. I'll grab a plate. And since this one's kind of broken in this direction, we'll do a flip. Ooh, oh my gosh, look at that. Look at that guy. Oh my goodness gracious, look at you. Ah, you're so beautiful. You're maybe not like super picture perfect, but that's good. That is really good. That's something I'm eager to eat. That is definitely something I'm eager to eat. Which the eat will certainly be on after this. Okay. Let's just go around the corners. Make sure everything's freed up. And flip. Woo! Definitely. Ha! Not as good as the other one. In terms of flip, but hey, you know what? Whatever. Whatever. Okay. I am reasonably happy with how these guys turned out. Like, oh, hey now, don't hang off my plate, please and thank you. Very reasonably happy. Yeah, I'm gonna need gloves for that. But yeah, I'm basically preheating the queso, so it'll be very runny for me. Okay, so since I got everything off the griddle, I'm just gonna take my spatula and we'll kind of just do sort of a pre-clean here by taking everything. We're gonna scrape it towards the back, kind of scrape it all together. This is gonna make cleanup a cinch for me later, which I think I'm actually hitting my oil catch basin I have. Oh wait, you guys can see the oil catch basin down there. Okay, great. I was a little unsure of that. So yeah, it's cooling down. I'm gonna let it cool down a little, just a hair bit more, before I throw a plywood cone on it, because, well, the cooler I keep it, the less heat I'm gonna trap. Because that's the thing, when I throw the plywood on it, I'm gonna trap a lot of heat. And right now, it can freely dissipate that heat. There we go. So let's grab our most, as they say, Instagram worthy one, and our less Instagram worthy one. And let's do, so serve it on plate. Okonomiyaki sauce and mayonnaise. We're skipping mayonnaise. And then sprinkle dried seaweed and burrito flakes on it. So we are skipping the seaweed flakes. Not the seaweed flakes, but the fish flakes. So I've got me some Okonomiyaki sauce, which I don't know why it's in a container that doesn't have a label on it. That's almost slightly concerns me. Ah, okay. But I will be very generous with my serving of sauce here, because ooh, that smells good. I think I've had okonomiyaki once, and this is my first time actually like preparing it. So give it a good, nice, healthy drizzle of sauce on that one. And then you get a nice, healthy drizzle of sauce, because I'm gonna be fat. I'm gonna be so fat. Okay, and that's that sauce, which I actually used a really good bit of it. And then I presume this is a refrigerate after opening. Ooh, wait, I don't need that. Ooh, well, I do need you eventually. You're gonna be my You're kind of my secret ingredient here. Queso. My other secret ingredient. Okay. And where's a spoon? One spoona. And since, yeah, this is very liquidy, which is the big reason why I did the preheating step, was to get this as much of a liquid as possible. Well, to increase the viscosity, if I want to be like sciencey about it. So, let me get it. Really good, heaping the queso on it. Then we'll go to the other one. Get a nice drizzle. Yeah. Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. Okay. I gotta. Yep, that's good queso. Queso's good. Good. Cool. So, we have one last ingredient, and that is actually the dried seaweed flakes. Ooh, I did not tear that in the best of ways. Ooh, a little generous. Yeah, that's what happens when you tear it badly. But there we go. So, the Okonomiyaki is nearly 100% complete. Nearly. I need utensils to consume it with, but the true secret ingredient is a little bit pickled ginger, which I'm definitely killing this thing of pickled ginger because it's nearly done. It is very nearly done. Oh my goodness. Come on. I want all the pickled ginger I can get out of you. Because I gotta say, like, I love pickled ginger. I don't know what it is about the pickled ginger, but man, dude, I just love this stuff. It is amazing. It's just like, it's just such a good palate cleanser, it feels like, when I'm eating like a meal like this. Okay. And yeah. And I've killed the pickled ginger. I'll just set that there. So, congratulations. Well, we did it. We made Okonomiyaki for the first time. Okay. So, we got it. Let's do a little bit of a taste test, because I'm really interested in how this tastes. Especially considering I almost want to consider this like my... almost want to call it like cursed Okonomiyaki, but hey, no. I want a bite, please and thank yous. Okay. So, got some bacon, got some queso. Ooh, I like that. Okay. Okay. So, Okay. So that was part of the edge. It felt like I got a little too much of a hit of the Okonomiyaki sauce, but like, oh my goodness gracious, the flavors, how they melded. Like, I gotta say, like, good job me on the Galaxy Brain play to replace mayo with queso. Okay, so we're gonna take a ginormous... We're gonna try and take a ginormous bite of this stuff. And please, pardon the flies. I had to open the garage door because it got really smoky in here. Okay. I lost the bacon. Okay. Man, you know what? That's rock solid. I'm happy with it. My goodness. I'm a little disappointed that my grilling session has attracted so many... Ooh, wait. I gotta try some of this with, like, just a little... I wish I had more pickled red ginger, but this is all I got. Because I would probably serve this with more of it, if I could. But I do want to get a taste of this with the pickled red ginger. So let's do that now. Yes! I love it. My goodness gracious. Woo! Oh. Hey, Golden Finch. Bye, Golden Finch. Like, see, that's the thing with, like, with, like, pickled red ginger. Like, it is like the quintessential side thing for any Japanese food dish. Like, it just feels like the ultimate palate cleanser, but it still contributes, like, a good amount of, like, flavor to the okonomiyaki. And yeah, I gotta say, like, really top-notch stuff. So end of the day, today, we got the Blackstone back up. It's running. It's reasonably derusted. Made okonomiyaki for the first time. Gotta say, for a first-time attempt, it's reasonably solid. I'm reasonably happy with it. Things to improve. Less okonomiyaki sauce. Definitely have to, like, do, like, a smaller, steady stream of, like, the sauce. And maybe, I think I was cooking things on a little bit of a low of a heat, and I would want to, like, either up the heat slightly or do a slightly longer cooking time for the bacon and the cabbage, because the cabbage doesn't seem too terribly cooked. It tastes cooked, it tastes fine, but I think it could be a hair bit better. But yeah, for, like, first timers first try and a little bit of untraditional improvisation going into this. Like, I gotta say, like, I am personally very happy with how this turned out. And I now must deal with the personal dread of I have to consume all this. Because this is the amount of stuff the recipe makes. Now, if I were to do this again, I'd probably scale the recipe down, because I'd go from like, because I could, darn it, because I could cut down the half cup of Okonomiyaki flour to quarter, water to quarter, egg to 1.5 cups of shredded cabbage. Wait, did I use like 3? I used 3 slices. I used 3 slices on each Okonomiyaki when it was like 3 slices for the recipe. Oh man. Okay. Well. Oh well. I could have been a little bit smarter with how I like managed the recipe, but you know what? For a guy just following it in his garage and trying to have fun while also navigating a sea of tech issues, I gotta say, today turned out pretty alright. So, I would like to say thank you very much to everyone who tuned in, because I am going to be doing the actual, like, stuffing my face ridiculously full of food off stream, because I just don't think that's like a smart thing to do. So yeah, I'm going to be doing that off stream here in a little bit, and I will have a schedule for next week up probably some point tomorrow, maybe tomorrow morning. The actual next stream past this is going to be on Tuesday evening. Next week is actually going to feature a fairly full schedule. I'm planning 3 streams that week, primarily because, 1, the weather is going to be amazing, and I really want to take advantage of it for one of the days. So, this is Sugi Yamagawa. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope everyone out there has a great rest of your day, night, evening, whatever it is, wherever you're at. And hopefully I'll see you all in the next one. Okay, bye-bye.